Coming up on Look Today, well, the City of Saratoga Springs passes its 2018 budget. I've got details. Plus, we speak to Commissioner Mathiesen on why he thinks free health care for Saratoga Springs Commissioners is outdated. More on that coming up. And we also have an update on Code Blue Shelter in Glens Falls. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson, this is Look Today. Well, on tonight's program, I sit down with Forrest Bevins. He's the club president, Upstate Model Railroaders. And we're joined by Mike Romanowski. He's on the Train Show Committee, and they're here to talk about this very unique club. I also sit down with Ann Schneider-Kossigin. She's spokesperson for Prospect Center in Queensbury, and we're joined by Gary Eady. He's a board member for Prospect Center. And they're here to talk about the upcoming Festival of Trees that's happening this weekend at the Q, the Queensbury Hotel in downtown Glens Falls. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, the City of Saratoga Springs passed its 2018 budget. Now, it includes an increase of over $600,000 from last year's budget. Now, the 2018 budget will see no increased tax rates for residents. Now, it was passed unanimously. According to Commissioner of Finance Michelle Madigan, it's important to keep taxpayers in mind while making sure we provide the services we need to throughout the year, and this budget certainly takes care of that. Now, we're on the phone with her today, and we're going to be speaking to her in person tomorrow. In more related Saratoga City Council news, Commissioner Mathiesen recently made a motion to rescind health care insurance for life for commissioners. Now, currently, any commissioner over the age of 55 who served for at least 10 years on the board is eligible to receive health insurance for life. Well, according to Commissioner Mathiesen, as the price of health insurance increases, this becomes a big burden for taxpayers. And we spoke to him about this.
Having this carrot for people who serve for 10 years, I think is kind of productive. I think it provides people an incentive to do whatever they can to stay on the council for that period of time. I don't think that's good for our government. I don't think that's good in terms of making sure that the people who are at the council table are representing the best interests of our citizens.
Well, the motion was not welcomed by any of the other commissioners and has been tabled for now. Now, Mathiesen also proposed to raise the salaries of the commissioners beginning in 2020. So we had a chance to talk to him about this as well.
The salaries for members of the City Council had been stuck at $14,000 for a number of years, and then it was raised to $14,500 quite a while ago. It hasn't been raised in many years, and I think that just in fairness, it makes sense to raise the salary. I thought $18,000 would be a fair level to set it at, given the fact that it hasn't been raised in so long.
Okay. All right, switching from news to weather. Today saw a spike in temperatures, high 40s. Well, let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thanks, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponster with your first look weather update here on Look TV. National map shows high pressure in control across much of southeast Canada and New England tonight, with a cold front now advancing offshore the Atlantic coast. Weakening low pressure and a cold front through the mid-south and deep south as well. Secondary cold front now towards the mid-section of the country. But with this high pressure, we'll see temperatures drop like a rock. 15 in Albany, 12 Burlington, 11 Bangor, 21 in Boston. Depends also on the snow cover as well. And there's not that much snow on the ground yet, but we're going to see that trend probably increase as it heads through the winter months. But for now, these are relatively chilly temperatures. 16 Fort Edward and Greenwich, 13 in Whitehall. Glens Falls, we'll see overnight lows about 15. Up in elevation, they'll see a little bit more snow cover on the ground, and that means some even colder temps as well. So make sure you bundle up. Mostly clear skies with a gentle north breeze, but we'll rapidly warm up above freezing on Thursday. Mostly sunny, 41 at least for Glens Falls. Mostly sunny with calm winds, so wind chills won't be that big of a deal, but temps will still be cold, about 18 to 23 degrees through the 8 a.m. hour. We'll see highs generally in the lower 40s with plenty of sunshine, maybe some cloud cover mixing in as we head towards the weekend early next week. Overnight lows will be warmer, though, back in the 20s as well as 30s heading into Friday morning. So make sure you bundle up, especially during the morning hours, and then you might need that heavier jackets, but don't need to really bundle up, at least during the daytime. No Arctic outbreaks are in the forecast yet, at least for the next 5 days across the Capital District. That's a good look at the First Look weather update. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponsler. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks very much, Clarence. Yeah, the weather looks good. Back to the news. Well, we've got some updates on Code Blue Shelter in Glens Falls. Now, as you might recall, a lot of renovations going on up there, and the original opening date for the shelter was supposed to be November 15. Then it got moved to this Friday. Well, it's been moved again. Now, the new date is December 18, and the shelter still needs to be properly refurbished and funded. What I mean by that is the Open Door mission still needs to raise $112,000 by the 18th. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Well, we spoke to Kim Cook. She's Executive Director, Glens Falls Open Door Mission.
Well, we're almost done phase one. We've had some setbacks with water and sewer and just, the infrastructure in the area and our building, just trying to get that all figured out. So we're almost done the construction, but that still needs to happen before we can get a CO.
Well, Kim and her team, as you probably know from the interviews I've done with her, are very dedicated to getting this place finished and open. All right, up next, I sit down with Forrest Bevins. He's club president of the Upstate Model Railroaders. And we're joined by Mike Romanowski. He's on the train show committee. And they're here to talk about this very unique club and a fundraiser for them that's coming up on December 10. I also sit down with Ann Schneider-Cossigan. Now, she's spokesperson for Prospect Center in Queensbury. And we're joined by Gary Eady. He's board member for Prospect Center, and they're here to talk about great event, the Festival of Trees, that's happening this weekend at the Queensbury Hotel in downtown Glens Falls. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I got a couple of lookouts. Just a reminder, Salvation Army still needs volunteers. And the Salvation Army does some incredible work in the community. So if you want to be a bell ringer, or I don't know exactly what they need, but volunteer for the Salvation Army. And I'm sure you can find them online. And they need volunteers. And another reminder about the Festival of Trees. This is a great event. And the money raised, of course, goes to a great cause, Prospect Center. Thursday night is the gala at the Queensbury Hotel, followed by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Events going on all throughout the weekend. They turned the Queensbury Hotel into a winter wonderland. And last but not least, we did something a little different last week on the lookout. There's a missing dog. Now, outside of the viewer who emailed me and said, "You've finally gone to the dogs," I just want, once again, to remind you that there's a dog in the area of Ruggles Road, outside of Saratoga, Lucius. He's a black and white Springer Spaniel, and he's missing. And as you can imagine, the family is absolutely heartbroken. So we're going to close tonight with the contact information and a picture of Lucius. If you see him, please call them. Tonight on Look TV, Saratoga City Council meeting. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Here's a picture of Lucius.